Answering the question has expired. Senator Di Natale.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Immigration, Senator Cash. I refer to the recent revelations that my colleague Senator Sarah Hanson-Young was the subject of a surveillance operation while visiting Nauru in December 2013.
On my right.
On Monday, during question time, you stated, and I quote, "In relation to the claims made by Senator Hanson-Young that she was spied upon, the claims that were made have been confirmed to be false." Now, on that same day, in the other place, the Immigration Minister, Minister Dutton, said, and I quote, "They should provide the information to the police and the matters will be properly investigated." Given that the Immigration Minister, has now conceded that the matter should be referred to the police, will you today correct the record and admit that spying by a government contractor actually took place?
The Assistant Minister for Immigration and Border Protection, representing the Minister for Immigration, Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President. And I have to say, it is a great shame. Twice now, this week in the chamber, the Greens leader has come into this place and asked a question on border protection. He could have asked about the thousands of lives that this government has saved because of the implementation of our policies. He could have asked about the billions of dollars that have now been returned to the budget, again because of this government's policies. He could have asked—
Pause the clock. Senator Di Natale.
A point of order on relevance. Now, I understand the minister might not have the correct brief in front of her today, as she clearly didn't several days ago, but I just ask you to draw her attention to the question I asked.
On my right. Thank you, Senator Di Natale. I will draw the minister's attention to the basis of your question, and the minister has 1 minute and 24 seconds in which to answer. Minister.
Thank you very much. And as I was saying, he could have chosen to ask about the places that are now being given to people in camps who've been there for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and are now being able to be returned to Australia. But instead, as always,
Minister, I will draw your attention to the question that has been asked. Minister.
Mr President, the question was on border protection, and I'm referring to border protection. I have had 54 seconds.
Senator Di Natale.
Just a point of order on relevance, and I think the minister is coming dangerously close to defying your ruling. And I ask you to draw her attention to the question again.
Senator Di Natale, I'll decide those matters. I've drawn the minister's attention to the question. The minister has 1 minute and 4 seconds in which to answer. Minister.
But again, they come into this place and reflect upon themselves. Again, I will advise the chamber that the claim that Senator Hanson-Young was spied upon is not accurate. The original allegation by Senator Hanson-Young of large-scale spying during her visit was very, very broad and, as usual, short on detail. Senator Hanson-Young was not placed under any surveillance or security that is not usually afforded to high-profile visitors to Nauru. The department did confirm, however, that the senator's vehicle was monitored whilst parked overnight. This was, as I stated in my answer on Monday, without the approval or knowledge of the government or the Department of Immigration and Border Protection. Any proposal or plan to undertake any such surveillance activity would not have been allowed to proceed. I am advised that the contractor in question has provided evidence at the Senate committee which refutes the claims made by the Australian Greens.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Di Natale, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Now, the claim was referred to the Australian Federal Police as instructed by the minister, who have replied that Nauru is not within their jurisdiction and they are unable to pursue the matter. Given that the Immigration Minister has conceded they warrant a police investigation, what further action will you take?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. And I actually disagree with what Senator Di Natale is saying. The minister has not said that. And I just want to now go to the response that has been given by Wilson's Security. And they stated, "We categorically reject the claims made on the 7:30 program. These anonymous allegations are untrue, and we stand by our sworn testimony given to the Senate inquiry. We continue to assist the inquiry with accurate and factual information and to stand by our staff who perform very professionally under difficult circumstances. I'm also advised that the contractor in question provided the evidence, as I said, to the Senate committee and refuted the claims.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Di Natale.
Thank you, Mr President. Well, given that Wilson Security have conceded that surveillance did take place and that people have been disciplined as a result of that action, I ask now, will the minister suspend any ongoing contract negotiations with Wilson Security until this matter is fully investigated?
Minister.
Again, Mr President, as I stated, Wilson Security themselves have stated that what occurred was unauthorised, and my understanding is they have disciplined the person involved. You just hate offshore processing, and you will do and say anything in this place to undermine what is now a very, very successful policy on behalf of this government.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Di Natale.
I'd ask the minister to reflect on her answer that she gave on Monday, when she suggested that the actions of Wilson Security would be afforded to any member of Parliament.
Point of order?
This is a point of order.
It's not a relevant point of order. You're debating the issue, Senator Di Natale.
She's misleading the Senate.
That is a debating point.
She is
you have the right
misleading
to raise
the Senate.
that after question time in taking note of the answers of ministers. I call Senator Williams. Senator Williams.
Thank you, Mr President.